Good morning. I am in Yellow Dog Village near Worthington in Armstrong County. Right now, you are looking at Buffalo Creek, and up ahead looks like a dam. Yellow Dog is an abandoned village located off the beaten path. And on this dreary Saturday morning, I am going to be exploring the abandoned houses where workers once lived. These houses were built in the 1910s. They were built for the workers of a nearby limestone mine. Are you familiar with moonlight mushrooms? The mushroom mine was located nearby. So moonlight mushrooms used to be the limestone mine. And the workers lived in these houses. The last person moved out in 2010, so it was fairly recent. And this is private property, but we do have permission to be here. I am making my way up the one street. Workers from the limestone mine complained they had to travel far to get to work. And remember, over 100 years ago, cars were in its infancy. Cars were actually a toy for the wealthy. So the workers wanted to live closer to the mine, so they wouldn't have to travel so far. So this town was built, named Yellow Dog Village. So they built this village so the workers wouldn't unionize, and that's where they got the term Yellow Dog. Still some foliage hanging on. And I am going to be going inside these houses. I was up at 7 a.m. I was so excited. A lot of people like to spend their Saturday morning sleeping in, which I can totally understand. Or they like to go shopping. Me, I like to be out hiking and exploring. This is my idea of a Saturday morning. Oh, and don't forget, we turn the clocks back tonight. So it's hello darkness, my old friend. I'm like a kid in the candy store. You will hear roosters crowing because the owners have chickens and roosters, and they also have bunnies, so we might see a bunny skirt past. And I notice a lot of these houses are duplexes. So each building housed 2 families. Okay, it's time to go inside. Just watch your step. Wow. Wow. So this would have been the living room. You would have walked in the front door. And this would have been the living room. Looks like this would have been a fireplace. And you want to watch out for broken glass or holes in the floor. That's why I have on sturdy boots. And when the last resident moved out in 2010, they moved out because the water was contaminated. Oh, this is so exciting. Not sure what would have been in there. Wow, old newspaper. It's like the year 2010 is stuck, it's stuck in 2010. It's like that's where the year ended, 2010. Because these advertisements are for 2010 vehicles. Wow, amazing. Someone left a license plate and a credit card, which I'm not going to film because it's sensitive information. Small half bath right off the kitchen. Vanity has seen better days. Personally, I think it's gross whenever the bathroom is right off the kitchen. I'm not even going to explain why it's gross. You can figure it out. But I do know a lot of real estate companies have a hard time selling homes with the bathroom off the kitchen because of sanitation issues. Okay, we're going to go ahead and see what's through this door. Oh, looks like it goes upstairs. I'm going to see if there was another stairwell in the front. But a lot of these old homes had back stairs. Just going to watch my step. Okay, I'm upstairs and a bunch of insulation on the floor. I do have a mask on, and that's not because of COVID, it's because of the dust particles. Here's a, oh my gosh, another step. Secret steps, 3rd floor. We're gonna explore this next. I told you I'm like a kid in a candy store. By the looks of it, this might have been the master bedroom. And this must have been like a fireplace or where they had a wood stove. Looks like the hole where the pipe would have gone into. And there's no bathroom up here, so they would have had to walk downstairs into the kitchen in order to use the bathroom in the middle of the night. Okay, we're just going to be cautious. Wow. 3rd floor. I welcome you to the 3rd floor. And this was probably used as a bedroom because families back then had a handful of children. I'm finished exploring this side, and I'm going to assume the other side is exactly the same. And this is the house I just finished exploring. These homes are balloon frame. That framing was popular from the middle of the 1800s to about the 1930s. Balloon framing is lightweight, just as it sounds. In homes with a balloon frame, they do not have the fire stops. So that's why a lot of these old homes go up in flames so quickly, because they don't have the fire stops in the wall. So a fire that starts in the basement can be up in the attic within seconds. Okay, this duplex has the steps when you walk in. The one I just explored, the steps were hidden back in the kitchen. Old carpet. Nice banister. Some lighting. If I sound muffled, I apologize. That's because I have my mask on. The parquet floor. And the back door. Now it's nailed shut. You can see the wiring, and when these houses were first built, they had knob and tube wiring. Knob and tube is extremely dangerous. It was safe for the time because you didn't have the demands of today's electricity. You just had a few things. But with all the items we have today, like refrigerators, sound systems, TVs, it puts a load on the wiring. And a lot of banks will not issue you a mortgage if you have knob and tube. Okay, of course we're going to go upstairs. Upstairs, the hallway, bathroom. That floor was cleaned up, it'd be really nice. I love those colors. See the paint peeling from the ceiling. Another small bedroom. And steps going up to the third floor, and I am going to go upstairs. To get to the third floor steps, you have to walk through a bedroom. And since these homes are balloon frame, it makes them fire traps. With the hidden staircase to the bedroom, that would be a nightmare for firefighters. On the third floor. But these homes are well built. When my parents were first married, they bought an old farmhouse. It was built late 1800s. And they were installing, or the plumber was installing a hot water heater, and the spark from his torch caught the house on fire. So within seconds, the fire went from the basement to the attic. Horrible experience for them. And what is that? I'm not going to get close. It looks like a rope or a dead snake. I don't want to find out. But their house was a total loss. And to top it off, my mom was in the first trimester of being pregnant with me. But the workers would have been grateful for these homes. 3 stories, enough bedrooms and space. Look at that. Diarrhea colored carpet. I'm down in the depths of the basement. These steps are very, very tricky. You can see the plaster walls. You can see where the earth is starting to come in. This is erosion happening before our eyes. Pittsburgh bathroom. They had the bathrooms down here. So when the workers would come home from work, they'd be covered in soot and grime. So they would have a bathroom in the basement. It's not only a Pittsburgh thing, but in other Rust Belt cities like Youngstown, Buffalo, Rochester, wherever there were a high concentration of mills and mines. They call them a Pittsburgh bathroom. Whipped salad dressing, ravioli, instant rice. So this back room would have been a pantry. So this is a great place for storing canned goods, non-perishables. And this probably would have been the kitchen. So just enough room for a table. Appliances. Not sure where the sink would have been, unless this would have been like a tiny, like galley kitchen. Okay, there's plumbing. So I'm guessing the sink would have been here. Or maybe this is where the owners did their cooking, and this would have been the dining room. Lots of storage space. So I'm gonna go ahead and head out and do some more exploring. And this is the house we just explored, and this is the hillside sliding into the basement. And there's a little back porch. This door was jammed shut, so I couldn't come out this way, but this is the side of the house. I don't like the layouts of them. Style like this. This was probably put in early 2000s. And a lot of these homes still have antennas. My parents, they had an antenna. We were lucky if we got 3 channels. Most of the time the channels were snow. Hi! Hi there! There's American flag. And you can see both sides are very similar. And you came out of nowhere. Mask back up and head inside. And there's no electricity. That was turned off years ago. You can see where Mother Nature is taking over. Reminds me of the show Life After People. It's a future that's already happened. And we're going to say this is 15 years after People. Cute little back porch. Gonna head inside. This would make a cozy little kitchen. And this would be the dining room and living room. They're all basically laid out the same. And these are some nice hardwood floors. Nice banister. Like I always say, they don't build them like they used to. Like I said, these homes are all laid out the same. Gonna check out the bathroom. Floor's groovy. I'm gonna say it was put in 1960s or 70s. Groovy. Just gonna watch our step. Got a small bedroom. Closet. And the steps that go up to the third floor. But I'm not going to go up to the third floor in this one. Oof. Wow. And this would have been the master bedroom. This is as far as I am going. You can see water damage. There's definitely a lot of water damage. And where there's water damage, there's mold. Closet. And this is the house I just explored. I'm walking down the streets of Yellow Dog Village. And I believe this was owned by a school teacher. They had plans to make it into like an educational site. They were gonna allow people to stay in the houses and live like it's 1918, but I guess the plans fell through. But I'm so honored to be able to explore the side of Yellow Dog Village. It's a newer home, probably built in the 60s. It's a split entry house. These houses almost remind me of the ones in Queen Junction. And Queen Junction is located in northern Butler County. It's definitely off the beaten path. But all of these houses have the same basic layout. Downstairs you have living room, dining room, and a small galley type kitchen. Upstairs is 2 bedrooms and the bathroom, and then the third floor is 1 bedroom. Happy hauntings. Very appropriate. Gonna explore this house. Ooh, it's creepy. Put my mask back on. Wow. Ceiling fan's ready to come down anytime. This house is probably in the worst condition. This is probably the worst house I've been in. Just gonna take baby steps. You can see the kitchen. I don't know what that means. Definitely graffiti. I don't want to know what it means. This is probably like a little storage area, or a lot of these homes had root cellars in them. That's where they stored their fresh veggies. And this was before the advent of refrigeration. You can see where the vines are coming into the house. In the other houses you could see the banister, but the stairwell is kind of hidden. It's tucked away behind that wall. Oh, secret passageway. Kitchen. I'm going to assume this was a duplex. I don't know. Oh, I think I know what it was for. The workers, they can rent rooms in here. The single men who worked at the limestone mine. This must have been definitely the bathroom. So they would have rented a room or been given a room. Riley's room. Oh, Care Bears. There's Bedtime Bear. Side door. And another bedroom. I'm not going to chance it by going upstairs. I went up a couple steps and these steps are just too tricky. So this was definitely the home for single men. And I'm going to assume upstairs there's just a bunch of rooms. It's probably like dorm style living. Yellow dog cats. Looks like at one time there was probably a side porch here. That's long gone. And there's the remains of it on the ground. Just gonna watch my step. And you could say this house came with its own swimming pool. Temps are going to be in the 50s today, so not bad for November. Looks like an old stone wall to hold up the hillside. A lot of fire hydrants. That house kind of looks out of place because a lot of these homes were built in the 1910s and Like I said earlier, this house was built 1960s. Can definitely tell these homes were lived in the early 2000s because a lot of them have satellite dishes. And there's a single family. And there's a single family home. And a lot of these homes are duplexes, but there are a couple single family ones mixed in. I'm gonna see if I can go in this side door. Yep, I can. Awning has seen better days. Ooh, there's a nest. Okay. These would be the steps down to the basement. And these steps are probably going to take you up to the kitchen. Yep. Back porch. Guessing there would have been the stove or sink would have been there. Let's see what's in this room. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Some old air conditioner. Old light fixtures. And that looks like a thermostat. Living room. Don't think there's anything good on TV right now. And I'm going to be making my way upstairs. Linen closet. And I'm going to assume this was the bathroom. Or a bedroom. Something. Spider-Man. Okay, here's the bathroom. And bedroom. These bedrooms are tiny. These are really tiny. You can just fit a bed and maybe a nightstand. And this is more like a walk-in closet instead of a bedroom. These steps don't look as bad, so I'm going to venture down to the basement. Got the laundry room sink, low ceilings, typical creepy basement. Got some storage. And this is the back of the house I just explored. And this looks like a 2-and-2 house. There's 2 rooms on the first floor and 2 bedrooms on the second floor. And those were common in company towns. Okay, off to the next house. This is my version of trick-or-treating. Going from abandoned house to explore. This must have been the living room. This was probably like a small dining room. And we head into the kitchen. See the 60s, 1970s wallpaper. You can see where old floor meets new floor. This floor was probably put in 80s or 90s, but this to the left was probably 60s. 60s or 70s. It's probably a tiny kitchen. And I'm gonna head upstairs. Nice hardwood floors. And there's a bend in the staircase, just like the last house I was in. Bathroom. Tub. I need a rubber ducky for the tub. And this house is a single family home. Got one of the bedrooms. Closet. Old light fixture. And that's the crawl space. That's the hole to the crawl space. Let's see what's behind door number 2. Teeny tiny bedroom. And the other room is about the same. A little bit bigger than the last one. Ceiling's starting to come down. So I'm assuming in this kitchen you just had enough room for stove, sink, some counter space, and refrigerator. And I actually like these smaller rooms. I'm not a big fan of open floor spaces. So I'm gonna head down, see how the basement steps are. Oh, this is neat for canned goods or non-perishables. So convenient. I love the way these homes are laid out. It's like they have all this built-in storage. This floor looks groovy with the stars. I'm gonna say this is definitely looks like 1950-ish. Okay, basement steps don't look too bad, so I'm gonna make my way down. Basement. This must have been like a root cellar. Just gonna watch my head, even though I'm short. I'm only 5'2". So I still don't want to bang my head off something. Gotta watch out for broken glass. cubby. Maybe this was like a root cellar storage. Some wiring hanging down. Even though the electricity is shut off, I'm going to treat it as if it's a live wire. Okay, I'm going to head back outside. Oh. Fuse box. Okay, I'm going to head out the back door. And there's the back door to the kitchen. And this is back door down to the basement, where you can go up the steps and go into the kitchen. There is some graffiti, but I'm trying to omit the graffiti because the words aren't real nice, and this is a family-friendly channel. And this is a duplex. Got the steps, the old heating, register vents in the wall. Living room, dining room, and the steps to the basement are in the dining room. But I'm not going to go down the steps. And then the kitchen. This is a nice sized kitchen too. Got the cabinets. Appliances are long gone. Right on into the backyard. This is nice, a privacy wall. And this must have been a really cozy neighborhood. I could just imagine standing on the back porch, waving hi to your neighbors. So it must have been a close-knit community. Kids all playing together. And every time I go into one of these houses, I think the stories. Holidays, birthdays, family gatherings, laughter, talking. If only these walls could talk. Happy memories and sad memories all took place in these homes. Ooh. Watch the handrail. Okay, there's 3. One of the bedrooms. In these days, we need that sense of community. In a lot of neighborhoods, neighbors don't even know each other. Everybody's stuck inside. Bathroom. Ooh. Looks like something out of a horror movie. Decent sized closet. Okay. I apologize if I sound judgmental, but these homes today, they're building in these new housing plans where homes start out $500,000. They have like 5 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, state-of-the-art kitchen, media center, fitness center. But are people really happier living in those homes? That's why I always say, that's why I always think, are they actually happier? Got linen closet. And maybe I'll head up to the 3rd floor. Yep, steps look okay. So I'm heading on up. On the 3rd floor, here's a very, very low ceiling, so I basically have to crouch down. Imagine if you're 6 foot Got to limbo through here. Floors are in great shape. Like I said, this would be a cozy room, but at the same time, a fire trap. And without the sense of community and human interaction, that's why mental illnesses are up. People are social creatures. Then I head back down. Also watching out for mouse droppings. They're plentiful. Okay, I'm gonna head out here and keep on exploring. And this is the house I just explored. And that is the boarding house. We were in there earlier, and that was for the single men. Okay, this here is a single family home, not a duplex. See all the paneling. Definitely looks 1960s, 70-ish. And this would have been the kitchen. It's a large eat-in kitchen. So the table would have been here, and on this side would have been the appliances. Basement door is barred, so I'm not going to even attempt to go down there. So this would have been probably where the sink was. I could see the plumbing fixture. And plumbing, yeah. Or it could be gas for the stove. So I'm guessing sink, stove. Refrigerator would have obviously been under those cabinets. Got storage. I love these little nooks and crannies. And the day on this newspaper is Thursday, December 16th, 2010. Almost like time stopped in 2010. I head upstairs, and again, this single family home has the bend in the stairs. Just gonna use caution. Whoever lived here must have really loved paneling. And you want to watch out for holes in the floor. Wallpaper looks 1940-ish, maybe 50s. One thing I noticed, these single family homes have tiny bedrooms. And some of these big houses, this would be like the size of a walk-in closet. Pair of shoes, deodorant. You can see where the ceiling caved in. Lots and lots of water damage. And these homes are very, very well built. But Mother Nature is slowly encroaching. And soon they'll be lost to time. So with a lot of these homes, you just walked into the living room. There's no entryway. So you just walked inside. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and head out. Nice front porch. And this is the house I was just in. Side door is blocked, so that will take you down to the basement. There's the steps to the kitchen. It's just not safe. It's a full door from the 50s and 60s. Crunch, crunch, crunch. And the back of the house. Tree is growing into the house. Got a tree growing out of the front porch. Watch your step. This is different. This house has a side porch. This will probably be the last house I explore. Stove looks newer. So there's the door to the side porch. Got the bare walls. Someone probably took the plaster off. So I'm just going to step over this old furniture. This would have been the kitchen, basement. So it wasn't even that long ago when people lived in these homes. That's weird. Why would you have your stove out in the living room instead of in the kitchen? This would have been the dining room. Old linoleum floors. That was popular in the 50s. So these are bare walls. And this house has a little bit of character to it. Look above the doorway, the transom. So you can see this house has a little character. A lot of these houses basically have very similar layouts. A lot of them have doors on the side of the house. You can come in, come up the steps, and enter the kitchen. A lot of them have kitchen doors and cute little back porches. dining rooms, living rooms, and two or three bedrooms upstairs. And this has a bonus porch. That's why I call it. And the design of this living room is kind of odd, because you have the side door going on to the side porch. It's like, where would you put the couch? Because you don't want to block the door. Hole in the floor. This bathroom floor definitely looks newer, like 1990s. I'm not sure about the wallpaper. So these houses all have the same layout. So this will have been the front bedroom, aka master bedroom. And down the hallway would have been the two teeny tiny bedrooms. And these bedrooms are just enough for a bed and maybe a nightstand. And with these old houses, make sure you have smoke alarms all over the place. Because with them being balloon frame, fire in the basement could be a fire in the attic within seconds. So make sure you have plenty of smoke alarms. You just want the advance warning to get out. I know my house was built in the 70s, so it's platform framing. Excuse me, it's hard to talk with a mask on. And my house has the fire stops, and it's a ranch house, so the most injury, so if there was a fire in my house, I could just jump out the window. The most that would happen is maybe a broken leg out the back window, but I have plenty of time to get out. But in a house like this, your time is limited. Look at this old newspaper, Joseph Horns. Horns was a department store. It's no longer around. Oh, look at this. Console television, General Electric, 1960. Wow, $169. Wonder how much that. And that would have been a lot of money back then. I don't get cell signal here, so when I get home I'll look it up and I will go ahead and post it in the video. Well, how much that would be in 2023 dollars. And Kaufman's is another department store that is no longer around. It was bought out by Macy's. Wow. This is in the teeny tiny bedroom. It's enough for a twin bed and maybe a nightstand. This is in the master bedroom. This is the way to get up into the crawl space. Like a little secret passageway. So all these little nooks and crannies in these old homes. Let's make some fun to explore. And this here is the side porch. So it would really be hard to put furniture in the living room. Because you got that door and you don't want to block doors. Just gotta take a gander behind the house. Switching my step because the backyard hasn't been mowed in years. Back porch. So In these single family homes, the master bedroom is in the front of the house, and in the rear of the house are the smaller bedrooms. There's a burn barrel. Electricity is definitely turned off. And a lot of these homes have the side door. You can go up the steps to the kitchen or down to the basement. So it's like a early version of a split entry. Antenna. My parents had an antenna, and they had this thing called a rotator to turn it, and that thing scared me whenever I was a toddler. It lit up, and I don't know why it scared me, it just did. I remember running upstairs and hiding in my room every time my mom turned the antenna. But back then, TV was much more simpler. Now you can't even buy a remote. You have to call customer service and have the remote programmed. It's so complicated. I'm glad I don't watch TV. Tree came down. Got another duplex. Oh. Got old TV. And TVs were like pieces of furniture whenever I was growing up. Couldn't resist. I'm exploring this duplex. Looks like they're already decorated for Christmas. Got the tree up, lights on, and vinyl record albums for ornaments. And there's the piano. You can play some Christmas carols. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Actually, Jingle Bells isn't even a Christmas song. It was originally written as a Thanksgiving song in the 1830s. Definitely a newer TV, played 2000s. And someone left their wedding album behind. I don't know how people can leave pictures behind, and these look like they're sentimental pictures too. I'm not going to touch it, I'm just going to leave it as is. Got black and white checkered floor in the kitchen. Most of the cabinets are intact. Back door, back porch, nice layout. That's where the sink was. An old toaster oven. And I'm going to assume the stove was right here because of the electric outlet. There's probably an electric range because I don't see gas hookups. Now where would the refrigerator be? Maybe it was on this wall. That would make sense. And these ceiling fans are droopy because of the water damage throughout the years. And again, in the duplexes, the steps going down to the basement are on this side of the living room. Just needs picked up, and the floor needs swept and ready for Christmas dinner. Oh yeah, we need a stove and refrigerator and sink so we can prepare the meal. So it's November 4th and the tree is up. There's always the debate. Should I put my tree up before Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving? I say whenever you feel like putting it up. It's up to you. I did notice in the duplexes the bedrooms seem to be a little bit bigger than in the single family homes. I'm not going to go up to the 3rd floor in this house because I'm starting to get limited on time. But like in all these duplexes, here are the steps that lead up to the 3rd floor. Looks like they're going to prepare a meal. And this counter definitely looks like 1960s. I'm going to say mid to late 60s. Okay, I'm going to be heading out. Graduation day, 6/3/89. Actually, my last day of 6th grade was 6/9/89. So June 3rd, 1989 was on a Saturday. So they probably had the commencement on a Saturday. Ooh, I smell cat pee or something. How convenient. Can of Febreze. You need probably a dozen cans to get the smell out. Looks like this person has their easy chair, a couple bottles, and a TV. There you go. Ooh, looks like something. Poop. Kitchen floor. Ooh. Sink was right there. I'm gonna get out of here. Cabinets. Yeah. Good ceiling fan. Old electric skillet. I'm gonna be getting out of here like right now. Basically, the duplexes, this window would have been the living room window, dining room, and kitchen window. Bedroom window, bathroom window, and bedroom window. Here are the backs of the duplexes. Well, I sure hope you liked this video. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel and click that like button. Thank you for watching.